was just freaking out. I was freaking, because the night before did we work? No, we were, oh, okay. The day after this, we worked for Dylan.
Okay.
In Wisconsin.
Got it.
So we had to wake up like at the ass crack of dawn and fly out to Wisconsin the next day.
Just like the old days.
Yeah. It was great working with Shane, but I hadn't done this in a decade. So I was just like, I was freaking out. I was still sore. Like even like getting up the ring, like to stand, to climb the ring, it felt like my whole stomach was going to rip open. Like I was in a really bad way. And I was telling MJF, in the back, I'm like, I don't know what we can do out there. And he's like, oh, just whatever you want to do to me. And I stiffed him at one point. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. He's fine. It's fine. But it was like riding a bike. It really is. It's like riding a bike.
Yeah. Right. I mean, I'm sure, you and Shane able to kind of channel the old magic, of course, but first time back after 10 years, it's probably easy for you to see him there because it's kind of like, peanut butter and jelly. It's the same old for you. He'd been on
the road though. He'd been working this whole time. It was me who was sheltered. Like I had just, I got back into conventions and I was starting to do conventions and stuff, but being at ringside, I just always said, I'm not going to do it. But the money was so good. I was just like, okay, let's try. But I think these people, they didn't really care what we looked like. They just wanted it for nostalgia purposes.
Right.
And they got it, this night, Dylan's show in Wisconsin, like it was a lot of fun. So
yeah. And this, I remember we promoted this on Triple Threat and you came on and this was, legit. This was the first time you were coming back. We made a whole big thing about it. But this was interesting in time, like we look at the world now for wrestling. MJF was just the rising star. He was just a guy on the indie scene who everybody kind of knew he stood out a little bit. But you're going right back into the, the fire, so to speak, with a guy who's like running everybody and their mother down right before you walk out there because the promo he cuts is seething before this thing starts.
Yeah. And I remember sitting with him in the back and he was telling me, he was going to sign with AEW and all this stuff. And he was like, I think he kept saying, I'm only 23. Like it was surreal to him. And he's like, I'm just a kid. I'm just 23. And I'm going to break kayfabe, but he was nothing like his character. You know what I mean? Like, I know he's living the gimmick now and he's
very
everyone and this and that. That night, he was a humble, nice guy who was happy to work with Shane and I. He was eager to let me beat him up. He didn't care. He was really good to work with. He cuts a hell of a promo here on Shane. He came up with this verbiage. And I know we're talking over it, but basically talking about how Chris and Bam Bam had passed, but Shane was the survivor. So that got some heat, which I liked. And then so the next day when we went to the other show, we told that the kid that worked against Shane to say the same promo, and it worked there too.
It's pretty. Anytime you hear that in a promo setting, it gets the oh.
Well, especially because Chris and Bam Bam are past.
Yeah.
So that's heat right there. But yeah, this was fun. It was fun and it was easy. And like I said, once I got out there, the nerves kind of calmed down a little. But it's just, for me, like I don't like. Oh, there's my shirt, by the way. Somebody has my shirt on. Thank you very much, sir.
That's great.
I just don't feel like I looked that great. I don't know. I feel like I look better now than I did back then. But again, that's three surgeries that I've been through.